It's midday right here in Lagos, Nigeria. Welcome to Lunchtime Politics, reaching you live from our global headquarters. I'm Jeffrey Uzama, bringing you the big stories, binging through the highlights right here at midday. Let's begin with the headlines. Federal government earmarks over 700 billion naira to renovate and reposition the Murtala Mohammed International Airport to world-class standard, an ambitious project that is generating divergent reactions. And former governor of Benue State and the secretary to the government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, promises improved security for the people of Benue State. Thanks again for joining us on the program where we bring you up to speed with the big happenings in politics and in the polity. But let's get things started off with the promises that is coming from the federal government concerning security and development of the people of Benue State. The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, says the federal government remains fully committed to protecting the lives and property of the people of that state, even as efforts to strengthen Nigeria's overall security architecture continues to intensify. He was speaking in Abuja while receiving the political leaders from Kwande and Oshongo local government areas of Benue State, led by Mr. Telumon Akpoko. Senator George Akume emphasized that improved security is the only one aspect of a broader federal government agenda for the people of Benue. He revealed that the state is also set to benefit from major infrastructural developmental projects aimed at improving livelihood and boosting economic stability.
It's a high-stake visit in Abuja as political leaders from Kwande and Oshongo local government areas of Benue State meet with the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, seeking federal intervention over rising security concerns back home. Leading the delegation, Mr. Telum Akpoko reaffirmed their unwavering support for President Bola Tinubu's administration and pledged commitment to his second-term ambition.
We came to give him our support, to tell him that we are resolved to ensure that we follow him faultlessly. We want to assure you that the entire Kwande say they are behind you, they are following you without any question. Whatever stand you take, we are following that stand.
With the backdrop of recent attacks in their communities, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, reassures the delegation that the federal government is resolute in combating insecurity and restoring safety in all parts of Benue State.
This government has done so much to address this major challenge, and results are there for everyone to see. In Benue State, you recall, the president was supposed to be in Kaduna. He decided, in his wisdom and patriotism, to move to Benue State and to see things for himself.
Beyond security, discussions also centers on infrastructure development and the president's vision for sustainable growth across the region. After hours behind closed doors, the leaders, drawn from across political lines, emerge with a unified voice, pledging to foster peace, stability and collaboration across their constituents.
The SGF has reassured us of his support for our people. He has also discussed with us on the security situation in Benue State. As you know, Kwande local government, which is my constituency, has been the hardest hit on the issues of this insecurity. So he has reassured us that the President Bola Tinubu, has done so much, and we are seeing the results.
Though calm has returned to parts of the affected areas, the leaders remain hopeful that lasting peace and development will take root in their agrarian communities.
And away from that, officers of the Nigeria Customs Service, Murtala Mohammed International Airport Command, have intercepted a large consignment of birds destined for illegal export to Kuwait. The live birds, about 1,600 in number, are species of ring-necked parrots and canaries. Customs Area Controller of the Mohammed International Airport, Michael Awe, emphasizes that as Nigeria is a signatory to the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora, no illegal shipment will slip through the cracks under his watch at the airport without the required permits and documentations. He adds that investigation has commenced to apprehend the perpetrators. Still around the aviation sector, the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Mr. Festus Keyamo, is sure of the upgrading of the Murtala Mohammed International Airport to a global standard with newly approved 712 billion naira for the overhaul of the airport. Mr. Keyamo explains that those who are agitating for an overhaul of the airport facility should wait and see what becomes of it in the next 22 months. The Minister of Aviation made this known on our political program, Sunday Politics.
The place is totally decrepit. And this has been going on for so many years. Many governments have been thinking of, making sure that they bring it up to world standard. Lagos is not a hub. But that was the plan from 1977 when it was designed, and then 79 when it was commissioned. You cannot process one passenger from one terminal to the other terminal. So all of that has stunted the growth of aviation in Nigeria over the years. So Mr. President thought that this was a proper time to address this issue once and for all, especially as this government promised Nigeria major infrastructural upgrades across Nigeria from, of course, the savings we're having now from the removal of subsidies and the floating of the naira. Now, what we are trying to do in Lagos now is to make Lagos, one, a very modern international airport, and two, to make it a proper hub, to begin at least to compete with other hubs in Africa. So we want to now build this, completely pull down that Terminal 1, that old building. If you're approaching the airport to that long stretch of road, there's one big building facing you with the Murtala Mohammed Airport boldly written. That is Terminal 1. First of all, you know that wide bodies cannot come in there. Those double aisle, aircraft. They cannot come to anchor. Why? They are design errors. You went to build them when things are, major hangars are blocking the apron or the taxiway into that airport. We're going to pull all that down and expand that apron. And so that airport now can properly take big body aircraft. It is not a refurbishment.
Or renovation.
I'm just explaining what we are doing.
It's a rebuilding.
Complete. We are tearing it down. Only the pillars will remain, the carcass, the decking, everything will go. We are now making it a smart airport.
Okay.
So when they see this kind of money, I told people this morning, when I brought out a statement, I said, just simply, you don't need to do big research. Just pick your phone as you are then at home. Just Google the cost of the new airport, and not even building a new airport, remodeling and refurbishment. Oliver Tambo, $1.2 billion. Angola, $3.5 billion. Cambodia, about $1.5 billion. JFK, it's about $9-something billion. They are doing expansion way up past through New York. JFK, $9-something billion. Airport. It's even far cheaper to tell you all of these things I explained now. And we are getting less than $500 million. It's a steal. This is just a steal. Because our Bureau for Public Procurement, don't forget that it's not the ministry, it's not me. So people don't think that no, it's not me that sat down to do this. We have an agency of government, people know how government works. It's the Bureau for Public Procurement. That bureau has experts, engineers, quantity surveyors, everything. They look at your bill of quantities and begin to argue line for line with you. So it's the Bureau for Public Procurement that approves money, figures, not ministry.
All right, that's Minister Keyamo defending the 702 billion naira. He says it's not a renovation. Literally, bring down at least the Terminal 1. There are two terminals actually. Terminal 1 is a terminal, if you're familiar with the airport area in Lagos, the Murtala Mohammed. As you're driving through, that has the big Murtala Mohammed International Airport, which, to be factual, has been in a bad shape. So the argument is to the effect of the amount and several other layers of debates that this airport. So you can see to your left and right. We're going to be showing you pictures as well. So that's on your left. Is it left of your screen now? Okay, maybe the right of your screen, permit me. But this is the model. This is a remodeled. This is what it's going to look like when it's finally done. So it's going to be a hub, transit hub, where, where issues around, what do you call it now? People flying into our country will be proud, according to the government, by the standard of work that is going to be done with this. 702 billion naira is what is here. That's in the neighborhood of, by today's exchange rate, almost 500 million, almost 500 million. We understand it's going to take less than 2 years, actually 22 months, so towards the end of this term of the administration. But there are so many arguments. But I'm bringing a gentleman who has understanding, deeper insight into what all of this means. It will bring us up to speed as to what we need to know. His name, Olumide Ohunayo, is an aviation expert. Mr. Ohunayo, thank you so much for coming on the program. We appreciate you, sir.
Thank you for having me. An analyst, not an expert per se.
An analyst. Okay, whichever. You're familiar with the territory than some of us are. So you help us. So the minister took his time to break this down. But I want you to, because his words, I was listening to him, some of the things he said. He said literally it's decrepit, literally old and outdated, gave instances of some of the places, some even design errors, even in this Terminal 2 part of the airport. There's going to be they'll bring down this Terminal 1 and then expand Terminal 2 to reposition it so that it becomes modern, smart airport, transit hub, and all of the things that we get to see when you travel around the world. But of course, with Nigeria, as soon as you call the money, you'll be asked questions because it's public funds we're talking about here. So maybe I would like you to give maybe a general statement on this, but more importantly, where I want us to drill down to is to the business case. Is this what the spending of this? Is this what the spending of this particular money?
Well, good afternoon once again. I think it's worth it. How long are we going to wait? The more we wait, the higher the cost of remodeling that airport. That airport needs to be handled quickly, and that's what they have done. That's the gateway to the nation, and it's appalling what we are seeing there. And the truth is, you cannot develop your aviation industry without efficient airports, because the airlines and passengers that brings about this development and the increase of this contribution to GDP always have to use the airports. So we need good airports, modern airports that can take care of the present and also the future. And what they have done, I am a critic of the second runway in Abuja that they want to back on. But for this, absolutely, I'm in support of this, and I think they've gotten right. The effort is always on that terminal, but what they are doing is beyond that terminal. They're going to work on the second terminal. They're going to put skywalk to link the car park and the two terminals, put extra building. They're going to move the hangars that are presently in that place, and the owners of those hangars would have to be compensated, and they're also going to move a lot of people out of the main airport terminal who also have to be given some level of compensation. So there's a lot to be done there. Like what you have showed on the video, look at the roads that we're coming in, good aesthetics, and they want to expand the finger too. So it goes beyond that dilapidated terminal. There's a lot of work there to bring that airport to modern standard, and most importantly, to build it as a transit airport, so that will help our airlines to make use of the freedom and all other international agreements that we have signed that we are not making use right now, and that has made our airlines stunted. So we need to do that. If Lome has transit airport, if Accra has transit airport, if they have it in Abuja, why don't Nigeria? So I think we have started the process, and I think if we can do the transit here, then we also move into Abuja and also do a transit airport, a transit terminal in the Abuja airport too. I look forward to that.
The issue is, I think every descending Nigerian will agree that transportation is an enabler of growth, whether it's road or air or water or any form of transportation. I do not know whether you are privy to the BOQ, the bill of quantity, how this was arrived at in terms of the costing, because that's where Nigerians always have their doubts that kickback issues over bloated figures, corruption, that's where it all happens in collaboration with institutions of state. to make the system of the paucity of fund we're even struggling with. So if you've had access to the BOQ, what does it reflect for you? Because that's the best way to make a case on behalf of the public to say, okay, they did something, there's corruption here, or this is really what the cost of what they're trying to do.
Sincerely, I don't have access to that document, but I can tell you, if you look at the statistics of the cost of building other airports, and looking at all have been ranging, what we have seen so far, ranging from 3.8 billion to 2.2 billion, something like that for those terminals in other countries. We are talking about remodeling now, and from that 500, it is not only the terminal building. There are other facilities that are going to benefit from this money. So just not the terminal building. And if you look at the other work they are doing, the skywalk, the linkage of the airports, of the terminals, the upgrading of the terminal 2 that we collected loan for and we've not been able to pay the loan. And you agree with me that whatever it takes, there's a need for us to support this project. What I want us to really focus on is that if they are going to finish this in 22 months, what happens to the terminal ownership and management thereafter? Are they going to concession it? Is it going to remain under a fund, or they will look at getting reputable airport management company to take over the management of the structure? These are the things that are already boundary now, and also the compensations for those who would have to be moved for this project to work well.
So for the people who are criticizing it, calling it, let me remember their words, misplaced priority, wasteful, reckless, do they have a point?
Well, this is a political era, and the better. Once you're in that kind of mood, what do you expect? There will be some criticism. Again, I think they didn't. I was not happy that the minister started linking it to the renewed hope and all that, and they just allowed it to fly at its own projects that is necessary for the industry. When you begin to attach the renewed hope agenda and other political statements to it, then that's what get some negative reaction. And it is natural when you this is Nigeria. Once you hear something in billions and are coming during campaign era, the first thing that comes to mind is, wow, they're already preparing money for the campaign, and they're going to use it as a way to they're going to use it to run away. The money for the wrong way will not be used to run away to the political field. But this time around, I think we should please just support this one. This is necessary. That airport staff flagship, and it's not giving us good credibility at all, and it's not even helping.
All right, I do hope we can get Mr. Honayo. Technology is not supposed. So, well, as soon as we get him back, he will continue in his line of thought. Mr. Honayo, can you hear me now? Just wanted to be sure you're there. Oh dear.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, fantastic! For a moment, we didn't hear you. So, since you're the analyst here, so I want you to help make a further business case. So, I looked up a few numbers, maybe in the neighborhood of, in terms of what custom generates, in terms of what fan generates, in terms of what. A couple of other things into the coffers of the federal government, maybe annually, correct me if I'm wrong, I stand to be corrected, slightly around 100 billion naira a year. But maintenance costs even almost 1 billion naira. So if you look at the contribution of the sector to GDP, maximum maybe 1 or 2%. Okay, I was just trying to run the numbers with you so that you can make a business case. For instance, if this was a private enterprise, you understand? It's for the interest of the public here. So I was saying that I looked through a few numbers by the ones that have been published that I'm privy to. So I tried to find out how much the airport itself, of course, it carries about 60% or over 50% of the air travel in Nigeria is the gateway. So that's not debatable. But I'm looking at a few of the numbers. If we're doing about say 100 billion or 90 billion if you look at what customs, FAN, and maybe others generate from that airport, and then spend in the region of almost 1 billion or 500 million, depending on what year. And then the contribution to GDP, I think is less than 1% or so, or about 1% plus maximum 2. I'm giving all these numbers to the public so they understand whether this is worth it. So if we do just a annualized arithmetic of how much the airport generates as against what it will spend, it will take about 7 years to break even. Is that a case to make to the public who still say Nigerians are hungry or spending money to build airports for whatever reason?
Yeah, remember you said in the beginning, we both agreed here that aviation is an enabler for development of the economy. And like it's in the industry with airlines and airports, the profits are not something that comes in the short run. You plan for it and you get your use much later. I can tell you that whatever amount is spent on that airport would be recovered and the profit would come in if well managed. And I look forward to that. And like I said, I look forward for the post construction. What happens? Are we going to continue the way it is right now? Are we going to concession, or are we going to get a reputable airport management company to take over the management of our airport and see how we can improve on what we've done, how to maintain this infrastructure, and also how to improve on others that have not been touched?
You've been in that space, you watched it closely. I'm happy you've raised a post-construction conversation right now. So we're talking about in the region of 2027 or so when this project will be completed. According to the minister, the hope and the expectation is that the president will commission it before the elections. That's the expectation, according to him. And what do you think has to be done? Who should we be talking to in terms of two questions in one? I just remembered one. Two questions in one. One is the management post-construction, because when it was constructed in 79, perhaps it was called state of the art. Time has passed by, over 40 years down the line, we know the story of how government is terrible at managing things. So who are we going to be talking to? Is that should be the conversation right now. And the other part, the bidding process. What do you make of it?
Well, I am not sure about the bidding process because I did not see it anywhere. Maybe it was done, right? But I did not see it anywhere, and I never saw any company come up to bid. But I also feel that I'm of the opinion that to start with, in order not to get into the same problem we are having with the Terminal 2 and the extension in Abuja, there's a need to get the master plan of that airport and use that as the barcode to start this process. I think that we need to follow the master plan and see how we can use that. Because when the master plan is bypassed, then you run into problems of constructing, demolishing, moving hangar, which is what they are going through right now. Because what will happen in Nigeria happens in aviation, whereby once you have the power, you can get whatever you need, and most importantly, there's virtually no consequences of bad behavior. Bad behavior in the sense that buildings were located in a place where they were not supposed to be, and that's why it's costing us money now to move them. And we need to do the right thing. And the right thing right now is to allow that project to support the government to initiate and process and get to the end of this project in the next 22 months, which I hopefully, and I know they would want to do because of the election coming ahead, do it and fix it. But that, I still want to repeat that I have that. I want to know what happens post-construction and how to sustain it. The other three airports, the one in Port Harcourt, Abuja, and Kano, have not been able to get up to 30% of its operating capacity. Remember, we also collected loans for those terminals, and we have not paid.
As we begin to wind down, that raises even a complex political and economic question. We understand and agree, and it's not debatable to the effect that Lagos is...
We're not paid fully.
Yeah, okay. Lagos is the commercial hub of the country and the gateway to Nigeria. But this also raises the question of Lagos-centric ideologies or Lagos-centric economics, or economy in that sense. Now we have Tinkan, Apapa, Lekki. I think there's another port coming up somewhere where there are other ports that have not been developed across the country. I'm talking about seaports. Now there's this money that is to be spent on the Lagos airport. Don't you think it's also time to decentralize over-concentration on Lagos and begin to maybe two more other places that the country can look at, to maybe Port Harcourt, maybe Enugu, I don't know. I'm just giving a generic number, or somewhere in the north, I don't know, where this kind of development, because that is generating a political, undertone as far as the development is concerned.
Well, we must accept the fact that of all the airports in Nigeria, the MMIA is the one that has the highest revenue, is the highest revenue generator right now. And the highest revenue generator can do better. And we must also accept that as of today, when we look at the air transport into Nigeria, Lagos also is the hub. So it makes a lot of sense to work on that MMI airport. Now, in doing that, as you increase the frequency and flights into Lagos, there's that multiplier effect that you see airlines also willing to operate into other airports. Because there will be more passengers, and once there are more passengers, then there are more options. And as they are willing to operate to other airports, so also with this development come expansion of the terminals, improvement of runway. It will definitely naturally come to all the international airports. But the most important thing is you cannot take aviation in isolation. You have to develop the economy. There must be that disposable income. Your democratic process must be transparent enough to return peace. And you must have institutions that makes people pay for consequences of bad behavior. All this help to make the economy thrive, make people travel, and attract investors. We are building this airport really to give us a good face, and most importantly, attract investors and attract players into the industry. Okay. And you can only do that when you see the necessary environment. Now that we are trying to build the environment, you also need to work on other sectors of the economy. Aviation cannot stand alone and generate that and make that airport work if we don't allow the economy to thrive and give peace and even development to other sectors of the economy and the other parts of the country.
Yeah, I totally understand you. What I was trying to say to you was, I think it's also time to begin to make other regions success prone. Lagos is designed to succeed. The way Lagos is, no matter who is leading this Lagos, is going to work because of the things that are around it. So we're saying expand even further beyond Lagos so that we can properly decentralize the economy of the country. It's for the good of everybody, after all. Mr. Olumide Honaya is an aviation...
I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. Right. I totally agree with you.
Aviation Analyst, thank you so much, sir, for coming on the program. We'll be checking in on you as this project develops in phases. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's it on the program. Thank you for your time and, of course, your usual company. I'm Jeffrey Uzonga. You've been served on Lunchtime Politics. Bye-bye.